Okay, so this is the pattern that I made. It has step-by-step instructions, but it kind of jumps around a little bit. So if you don't know how to sew, it could be a little confusing. So first step is you want to get your cotton fabric, any kind, doesn't matter, it just needs to be cotton. You don't want anything with a large weave or like muslin or any knit, because you want to be able to filter out droplets and stuff. Okay, the next thing you need is acrylic. The acrylic felt is woven, so it will filter out, it's non-woven, so it'll filter out whatever. Okay, so you start by cutting this piece out, and you can cut it out of this or any paper. I just use junk mail, so you cut that out. Then you cut out your cotton fabric. You're going to cut out 4 pieces of your cotton fabric, so you can fold it into 4 layers or 2 layers and cut 2. Either way, you just need 4 pieces. Now, for the felt, you don't need the entire big piece because this part is going to be folded over. So you can always just do this, so then you don't have to cut another piece, and then just cut your felt out like that. Okay, so you need 2 pieces of the felt. So now what you're going to do is you're going to pin these, because you're going to sew these. So you need one that's just alone. Okay, if you have pins, this comes in handy. You don't have to pin it, you can just sew it. I like to pin it so it doesn't move. So pin across this side here and try and line them up as best you can. They should be the same size. Okay, so you got that one. The next step is you're going to put the felt on. So felt goes right over top, line up the edges here. Okay, right sides together. And line all these up here. And then pin these. This one I definitely would pin because you got 4 layers to keep track of here. It can get a little difficult, especially when you start sewing. Okay, so now that you got these all done, you're going to sew right along this edge. Make sure you take the pins out before you go across them with the needle, or else you break your needle. Let's do.
Yes.
You recording?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have a 1/4 inch presser foot on here, so you're going to do a 1/4 inch seam across. Make sure you pull your pins out as you go. You can chain piece these so you don't have to cut. Okay, so now that you got these sewn here, you're going to open it up. Okay, you're going to want to finger press this open here. So just take your finger and open it up and just run it along. So it just opens a little bit. You can iron this part if you want, but I find finger pressing works just as well. The same with this. Keep it open. Okay, so now that you got that, you're going to put right sides together. Okay. It's going to get a little awkward because they're kind of concave here. Okay, so you're going to open this up here. Make sure you line the seams up. That's what you want, or else it's going to look wonky when you wear it. So then pin right here on either side of the seam. Okay. and then you just match everything up as you go along. You can pull these into shape here so you get all the felt in there. And it's easier to use a lot of pins and not have to go back and pick stitches. Do that, and then all the way out. Then just do the other side, seams first. You want to line those up. Okay. Okay, so now that you got your pins all on the top and all on the bottom, you're going to sew all across the top and then all across the bottom. You're going to want to leave the sides open, so don't sew these. Again, with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You don't have to tie it off there, you can just run off the edge. Let's flip it around, do the bottom part here. So now that that's done, what you're going to do is you're going to reach in and turn it inside out, or right side out.
Ooh.
It's starting to look like a mask. Make sure you pull this side, the point out here. See, look at how well those seams lined up. Okay. So it is going to be concave. That's what you want, that little concave piece there. So at this point you can iron or press these ends if you want. I just kind of open it up a little bit. My fingers there. Then you're going to fold it over. This doesn't have to be exact. You can just eyeball this. And you're going to want to pin it. Unless you press, but if you don't press, you need to pin it because it'll want to unfold. Same thing on the other side. So this, you don't need the 1/4 inch seam allowance. You're just going to go right along the edge of the fold here. So this one you do need to lock the stitch. Where's my all? Good. Okay, so then this is a tool I use when I got to get all in here because I don't want to get my finger in here. So it's thick, so I gotta move it a little bit, get it started. And just remember to remove your pins as you go. You don't want to run them over. And then lock your stitch at the end. Okay. That side is done. Trim. Okay. Next side. Same thing. Lock your stitch. right along the edge there. So there we go. That's the mask. Now, for the ties, you need a separate piece of fabric. Okay, so it needs to be, what's it say? 1 3/4 inch wide strip. Okay, this is what it's supposed to look like at the end. This one's a finished one. So where's it open? Oh, here we go. So this one's not sewn yet. So when you start off, it's going to be 1 3/4 inch. Okay, so first thing you want to do is crease it in the center. So fold this in half like this. So you're going to press it and crease it. So now that you have a center crease, you're going to want to fold the outside into the center like this. Okay? Then you fold that on top of each other. So essentially you have 4 layers of fabric, and this is going to make a nice sturdy tie. So then you're just going to sew along the edge here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to work. So for the top, it goes around your head, you want 16.5 inches. So measure 16.5 inches and then cut your tie. And then you're going to want to make sure and sew on one of the ends so it doesn't fray. So then to sew these on, sew these on, you just lay it on the top here, on your folded piece on the edge. You go on one edge, go down, I go down and back up, lift up my needle, move it over, and same thing. Go down the other edge, and then back up. So now you have a tie. So then you just repeat this on all 4 sides. The 12-inch ones go on the bottom and the 16.5 are on the top.